Okay, I guess we're live. Do you think that AI is going to take your job? Actually, no, that's a terrible place to start. AI is not going to take your job. The thing that it might do, though, is it might become very good at doing those small menial tasks, right? Like we can get AI to manage our calendar. It can read all of our emails for the day. And if somebody says they want a meeting on a Friday at 4, it'll just send the email and it'll do all the actual tasks, right? It won't just draft the reply. It'll actually go into your inbox, say, okay, that sounds good, and then put it on your calendar and invite the other person. That is what AI can do. And it's going to liberate you, right? Hopefully, what it means is that if you're a salesperson, for example, you're going to be able to focus all of your time on actually picking up the phone, calling people, and making real money, rather than going into the CRM and updating it and making a new deal or updating all the info in the user accounts and all that kind of stuff that your boss really wants you to do, but it doesn't actually give you any leverage, right? AI can take that kind of stuff away from us. It shouldn't be used for actually engaging with customers or like doing demos or any of that kind of stuff. Let's get it to do the menial stuff that none of us want to do, but takes so much of our time, right? That's the stuff that we want it to do. And so what I thought was, people are constantly asking me, it'd be like, should I be using Claude? Should I be using ChatGPT? Should I be using Gemini? Let's actually tell, right? I have my favorites, but let's just do this in an unbiased way. So what we're going to be doing today is I have hooked up actually technically 8 models. Claude, so the 3 that Claude have, you can see here. Haiku, Sonnet, and Opus. Gemini, Flash, and Pro. And also GPT, Nano, Mini, and 5.2. And let's see what we can get it to do from a CRM management perspective, right? Okay, let's get started. Let's go through the actual test, right? Because this is actually really, really important. So there's going to be 5 points that you're able to get for 5 different things that the AI needs to be able to do. So first off, it needs to be able to update the deal. We have a Stripe deal and we have a Notion deal. So you go over here, you can see the Stripe deal and the Notion Stripe deal and the Notion deal. And it has to be able to submit one of them to contract sent and one of them to close loss. So if you click into here, you can see for this one, there's an email from Ivan that says that they're going to be building this capability internally. So that deal is dead. Versus for this one, for Stripe, this one, they've sent it to the legal team. So that one needs to be gone to contract sent. Create new deals for Airtable and Slack. So there's also a bunch of contacts in here. So if we look at Airtable, you can see that there's a call transcript that says that they're going to go for the competitor. So that one needs to die. And Slack as well is the exact same thing. So those both have information in them that says that they're close lost. Create new deals for Figma. So this is point number 3. If you go into Dylan's, you'll see that there's a piece of information in here that says that Dylan he wants to schedule the meeting. So it's going to create a new deal because there isn't one that exists. Update information. So Stuart Butterfield at Slack is missing a ton of information that other people have. So, we've got no information about him outside of his phone and his email. We don't have the number of employees, the Twitter username, the company name, or anything else. And then finding his Twitter handle. If we go to Howie. Yep. So Howie has everything besides a Twitter username. And so we have to update that as well. And so that's going to be the 5 points that the LLM is going to be able to give you. Let's switch here to Cotera for a second, where we're going to be doing everything. I'm just going to walk you through the prompt. So benchmark comprehensive CRM management. Basically, the way that Cotera works is that you write an intro, you write the task that you want the AI to be able to do, you give it access to tools. So if we look at the task, you must read all the communications, ensure all the contacts have complete information. It gives the specific information the contact needs. We keep this prompt pretty short because we want to actually see what the LLM can do by getting creative, rather than having to give it explicit instructions for absolutely everything, right? Like, how do you find a deal? Which deals do you have to find? All that kind of stuff. Then you give it access to tools. You can actually connect. We can delete this guy, but you can give it access to tools. So here we've given it access to a bunch of tools for HubSpot. So searching the deal, searching contacts and updating contacts, notes, associations, getting the time, searching Google, which we can use to get additional information about the company. And then ignore this part. This is just for me. We have a script to tear down HubSpot and the answer key. But yeah, that's how you do it. We'll come here. We'll actually open this up a little bit. And you type in, when you want to start running the agent, you type in here, and you can switch between different models. So you can see all the different models that we're going to be using here. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let me move myself over here. Let's get started with Claude 4.5 Haiku. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to give them all the exact same info, which is please update my CRM for the last 7 days. So we're going to hit go. Okay, so it's going to start looking for deals. Great, it's looking for contacts. It's fixed itself so that you can see here, if you look in, this is fun, right? Like request failed because there's invalid JSON, whatever. But then what it does is it goes and fixes itself, right? We can see here that it's found a bunch of deals, which is great. That's exactly what we want. Or sorry, contacts. It's getting comms, it's getting more contacts. And now you can see here, it's using the Google search tool to search for information on LinkedIn. It's found Stuart Butterfield's Twitter handle. And so now what it's going to try to do is it's updating a bunch of people. So take a look at this. So it's trying to update Stuart Butterfield. Now this is going to fail because this has to be a range. Okay, property doesn't exist. So it's updating this one to close lost, which is perfectly fine. It's updating this one to negotiation, which is not a real one. This one needs to be contract sent. Okay, so yeah, so it's updating this one to contract sent, and it's updating Stuart's Twitter handle there. It's grabbing complete contact information. So it's getting information about all the different contacts. So now what it's doing is it's looking for missing information like current company employee counts. Great. Let's see if it actually updates them. I think this might be the last step. Okay, so it's adding how he's, okay, wow. We're almost there. We're almost there. This is great, actually. Okay, so it's creating some new deals that are all closed lost. So that's correct. Okay, it's giving it invalid JSON, which is fine. It's fixing the association type. So this is always like a random bug. If we had a better prompt, it would know how to do this, but I gave it a perfectly bad prompt to start. So this one will work, and this one works. Great, excellent, awesome. Okay, nice, that actually worked. So it's updating the company size. It's created all this information. It's added all of these required properties. That's actually pretty good. Okay. So now if we go back to our good friend Hubspot, yeah, so this is now in presentation scheduled. This is now in contract sent. This is now in close loss. Oh my God, I was able to do all of it. That's crazy. So if we go to contacts, and now I look at Stuart Butterfield, we've got Twitter username. Oh, it didn't do this as number of employees, but there's another one. There you go, company size 2,500. So it added it in, which is what it's supposed to. I'm going to give it full points for that one. That's pretty crazy. We should reset it before we keep going. Okay, we've now reset. Let's go back here. Let's clear the chat, and we're going to run it on our good friend Claude Sonnet 4.5. So we're going to do the exact same thing. Please update CRM for the last 7 days. I'm going to skip around a little bit more on this one because you already kind of know what happened. If Haiku can do it, we assume that Sonnet can do it. Okay, so deal analysis. Yep. So this one wants to move it. So it did all the same stuff. It wants to change these. It wants to update all of this information, and it's going to go through and do it. So it's updated the deals for the two companies, and now it wants to create the new deals. It's a lot more structured, actually. So it's like messing up a lot less. I say that and it messes this one up, but it should fix itself faster than Haiku did. Probably. The thing that's really interesting to me is they all try to make all the API calls at once rather than doing them one by one or checking first. So this one knows a little bit more about, I was right. So it knows a little bit more about the HubSpot tool. And so it fixed itself the first time around. It didn't keep trying and keep trying. So now it's looking up the missing contact information on Google. Okay, so it updated the contacts on the right, at the first time, which is pretty good, actually. That's pretty great. So it's done doing a final check now. Okay, so Sonnet 4.5 actually seems to have worked perfectly. And it was very close, updated these deals, created these deals, and then updated all the contacts with all of the right information, which is great. It's also giving me some extra stuff, but that's fine. All right, I assume that Opus is going to be able to do it. Well, I'm just going to skip to the end on that one. Change it to a new chat and we'll type in the same stuff. The nice part about Opus is it's that it like does it in a really nice way. So it's like giving me like required actions for everything, which is pretty good. All right. So I was able to do it. So it was good. Deals were updated. I was adding new deals, added more data, and did everything there. That's great. Sounds good. Now let's move on to Gemini 3 Flash. Okay, we've reset everything. Update my CRM for the last 7 days. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Okay, so this is gonna be kind of interesting. The way that Gemini works is it doesn't talk to you. It just does everything. It just goes. So this is gonna just make 16,000 gajillion API calls in 2 seconds. Yep. So did that. Is not gonna say anything to me. Yep. Searching for contacts, searching for deals, doing all this kind of stuff, getting all the comms for every single one. Yeah. Okay. It's doing that. Deal search, web. It's literally not telling me anything, but we can click in here and we can check. So it's grabbing information for Figma, grabbing information for Slack. Okay, it wants to make an update. So it's updating Howie. It's updating the number of employees. Damn. Okay, so it got it wrong, but that's okay. All the other ones also got it wrong. And so it's like, yeah, it's trying to do every single thing at once rather than thinking about it. So it's doing the same mistake as all the other AI models do, which is that they try to make the update all at once because they assume they know best rather than trying it. Okay, so now it's going to try it again a second time. So that worked. That worked. Okay. So now this one, yep, that also worked. And there we go. Suddenly we've got all the info. Okay, so it's doing it the correct way. This actually might be more efficient and better than all the other guys. Okay, so this is going to fail because it's trying to do this association. It hasn't learned from its mistakes to just try stuff before it just makes all the API calls at once. So then it'll do it again. It's also going to fail again. Oh, no, it worked. Nice. It was able to do it the right way. There you go. Okay. So it changed the contact sent, changed the close lost. Yep. So it changed these two. So we've got two. So one point so far. Missing deals. Yep. So 2 points. Contacts were updated. 3 points. And yeah, we've got the other two. So it did everything. It's got everything. Great work. Wow. I'm really impressed with Gemini. That was really fast. So we're going to swap it to Gemini Pro now. We're going to go to Gemini Pro. Okay. So Gemini Pro. Whoops. Update my CRM for the last 7 days. So we're going to go. And this should just be able to do. I'm going to skip to the end on this one. Doing the same thing that our good friend Gemini Flash was doing. Seems fine. It's doing the same thing. It just tries to do every single thing all at one time and it fails. But then it'll do it. It'll fix it. It'll fix itself. I don't understand why these AI models don't just try to do things. I think a better prompt would help us a little bit because our prompt is fairly bare bones. But yeah. Okay. Fix itself. Yep. And this all seems fine. Okay. So it's fixed itself and it's doing all the things that it's supposed to be doing. So it should be done. Should be fixed. Yep. Yep. That seems correct. Contact enrichment, Stuart Butterfield. So we're good to go. That was completely good. Okay. Let's now shift to the GPT models. Now we're going to start over. We're going to start with GPT-5 Nano. So I'm going to start the new chat and we're going to go from here. Update my CRM for the last 7 days. And the thing that's crazy about these GPT models is they use reasoning prompts, right? So you can watch it thinking. I can fetch the current timestamp. I need to compute the, yep, so January 1 minus 7 days brings me to January 8th. That's not correct. Minus 7 days would be in December. Okay? So this is really interesting. This is like a really basic model. It's good for things like classification, but I'm not sure how exactly it's going to do when it's looking at something like this, which is a heavier model. So it wants to update a deal to appointment schedule. That's not going to, oh, it is a thing. Okay. Okay. Interesting. I don't know which deal that is, and I don't know why it updated both of these guys to appointment scheduled because that's not correct. But okay. It really wants to update these things to appointment schedule. I'm not really sure what the hell's going on here. I don't know why it wants to do that. That's crazy. None of them should, there should be a new deal, but it didn't actually make the deal for Ivan. So I think it's just really confused. It's doing it again. It keeps updating things to appointment schedule. I don't really understand. Okay, so this is not going to be able to do anything. I think it died. It's not going to work. I'm calling it. Okay, it's updating something to close lost. It wants to update more stuff to appointment scheduled. It's failing on the stuff that the other ones failed with. This is just definitely not going to work. It's gonna return like I wasn't able to do anything. The other thing too that's annoying about GPT is it just doesn't like format stuff as nicely. It just returns it as plain text. Okay, this is not correct. So I didn't do either of these things. Yeah, it didn't update any contacts. It didn't do anything. Yeah, it like updated one to close lost, but it needs to do both to be able to get the point. So big bad 0 for our good friend GPT-5 Nano. In all fairness, like it'd be interesting to see if with a better prompt it was able to do any more of them. But yeah, like as of right now, absolutely not. All right, let's try GPT-5 Mini. Please update my CRM for the last 7 days. It's also starting to think. This is a slightly better model than Nano. I've got some high hopes. It actually works fairly well with tool calls, but you have to prompt it fairly well, and it's a little finicky. Because bumbling around. I don't see it really like doing anything interesting. Yeah, it's like it keeps going back and forth and grabbing like more and more communications. No, I guess that's correct. It's going okay. It's going okay. All right. Good job so far. Interestingly, I'm not really able to see a ton of its like thinking process here, like I was the other one. So we'll see. Okay, so this one's going to go into contract. I don't think this is a real one, so it'll fail. Yeah, that's fine. Let's see if it can fix it, though. Okay. All right, so now it's like thinking. Now I can see it. So it needs to send it to contract sent. Okay. This is so funny. Dylan has Zoink listed, which feels odd, but Ivan's is Ivan Zhao. So funny. That is actually his Twitter handle. So it's updated one of them as contract sent. Let's do this one as close lost. Okay. It's all right. Okay, so it updated Dylan Field. It updated Howie, but was it able to find his... Okay, found his... Yeah. No, that's not bad. Okay. Stuart BT is not his thing. It might be, actually. I thought it was just Stuart. Okay. So it's doing it okay so far, actually. That's pretty interesting. It's pretty interesting. Okay. So Figma security review. Okay. No, that didn't work. It tried. Okay. So it created one of them successfully. Okay. I think this might have worked. So far looking at HubSpot, it's created the Figma one, it's moved the Stripe one, and it's closed lost that one. So that's pretty good. Okay. It keeps going. It's using a lot of context. Okay, so let's see. Timestamp per run. Created new deals in the last 7 days. Stripe, so that's 1 point. Associated deal. Okay. Never employees. Yeah, that's fine. Missing fields are populated. Okay, let's see if it's Twitter handles. The closest person I was able to find is this guy, so that didn't actually do it correctly. So it didn't find the right data. Howie Liu. So it found Howie Liu. It did not make all of the... It did not make any... It made... Yeah, so it didn't make any of the deals. So if I look here, it got 1 point for updating the deals. It didn't get any... It got 1 more point for creating this deal, and it got 1 more point for finding the Twitter handle. So that's 3 out of 5. So not bad. Not a bad showing, actually. Not a bad showing at all. Okay, so the last one is going to be... The last one is going to be GPT 5.2. So we're going to start over. And just so you know, this one does not have reasoning turned up to high. It's just kind of like the baseline model. So that'll give us a pretty decent thinking point between the two. Okay, so it's just going to go through. We're not going to see any reasoning tokens from this one at all. So it's getting the contacts. It should just work. I assume that this is going to be fine. So yeah, updating this one to close lost. That's perfect. Doing the same thing where it tries to make all the updates. So it's making the right updates here. So so this should work perfectly. Okay, so it worked. Updated that, updated Stuart. That is his real username, Howie ETL. Contacts already updated. So there you go. Deals created for contacts in the no communication. So that's communications with no deal. So that's great. It did all of them. Good work. Okay, so let's go here. So Claude 4x5 Haiku got all 3 of these and cost about 15 cents. But it was able to do everything. Got a decent amount of tokens. Sonnet also able to do everything. Claude. So Claude just all through the whole thing was able to do all 3 items, which is really impressive that you can do the whole thing with Haiku. Flash and Gemini 3 Pro, very similarly, did everything, which is great. GPT-5 Nano was able to do exactly 0 of the tasks correctly. It wasn't able to get anything, and it cost about 1 cent. GPT-5 Mini, pretty good showing. It only cost 3 cents, but it was able to do 3 individual things. And then GPT 5.2 was able to do everything, but it cost a whopping 43 cents. I think that what I'd be curious about is how much this changes based on something just as simple as updating the prompt. Like, how can we get it to think less? How can we get it to just follow a process if we dictate the process to it? The downside is it's less like easily pushable to a brand new prompt, but we're able to actually like do a decent amount that way. So thanks so much for watching. Hopefully this was fun and interesting. And yeah, thanks so much. Let me know in the comments what you want me to test next.